Toasties. I'm Missy, here with my bestie Johnsy.
Hey, y'all.
And welcome to our Toasted Shenanigans. We are in person.
Woo woo.
It's so much better this way.
It is.
We need to really snap with that virtual bullshit.
Yeah.
We
just too convenient with our busy lives.
We say this, but next week will be virtual. Watch. Because,
yeah, probably.
well, we're going to the holiday season. And
I hate the holidays.
I don't mind them. It's just there's
everything after Halloween goes to shit.
It gets crazy.
Goes to shit.
Gets greedy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how ironic, huh?
Yeah, that's kind of what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, we might be talking a little bit about that. What you drinking over there?
I am drinking one of these tasty beers you got me out of the gajillion. But it's, what is it called? Backmasking. It's an oatmeal stout. I like it very, very much. I definitely would give this a 10. I could drink this on a regular basis for sure. But the can is so cute.
It is
I might
cute.
have to keep this can.
It is. I picked all of them out based off literally just a can.
You know me so well.
I went to Wisconsin, guys, and got her all these different beers.
Yep. She fuels my alcoholism.
I do.
No, I don't have a problem drinking.
No, not at all.
That was a bad joke, sorry.
If you had a problem drinking, you wouldn't go based off of the can. You just drink whatever you were given.
True. Very true.
And you literally judge your beers or whatever it is you drink off of how cute the can is.
Yep.
I think you're far from a drinking problem.
What do you got?
I am drinking the rest of my caramel apple sangria that I made yesterday.
Ooh.
It is delicious. It's apple cider and a bottle of white wine and caramel vodka and apple chunks. You want to try it?
Yeah, I want to try it. Oh, boy.
God. You guys get to hear our grunts while we reach for each other.
Oh, there is apple chunks in there.
Mm-hmm.
That is sweet, Missy.
I know.
It is tasty. I love the flavor to it, but that is sweet.
I don't add the caramel sauce to it. You're supposed to also drizzle caramel into it. And I'm like, that's just too much.
That is way too much. That is diabetes.
I make it every year for Thanksgiving, and nobody ever ends up drinking it with me, so I drink it by myself.
What bitches?
I know.
I'll come over and have a couple glasses with you next time.
It's delicious. I like it. So I actually had this for the first time at a friend's house. She was having a little bonfire, and she made this big thing of it, and I drank it. I'm like, holy shit, this is so good. So I started making it myself, and I just make it for Thanksgiving every year. That's my one thing I make myself every year.
There you go. And it's all yours.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to share.
Mm-hmm. Anywho, speaking of Thanksgiving, that is what we're talking about.
Okie dokie.
We're talking a little bit about the truth of the Thanksgiving and all that fun stuffs.
I literally don't know very much about this. I'm really excited about this.
Well, I will say that it was very, very, very hard to get a lot of information on it. So this is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode again, guys. But there's actually only 2 countries that celebrate Thanksgiving. America, oh shit, making noises, and Canada.
Really?
Canada celebrates Thanksgiving in October. Theirs is more of a harvest festival.
Okay.
You know, kind of what Thanksgiving story that we're told of is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, we're talking about Thanksgiving, and I'm sure everyone was taught that cute little story of the natives and the pilgrims and the big feast and how they both came together in harmony. Everyone was happy celebrating the harvest and surviving their first year, and probably even heard about someone named Squanto. Mm-hmm. Little do you all know that story is not real.
No.
Yeah. Well, somewhat. So amongst a lot of the research I did do, there was a little celebration thing that was done. Squanto was not there. The story of Squanto actually is a really sad story, and if anybody wants to do their Native American history on that one, they'd learn how horribly sad that story is actually. But the story we hear about actually was a 3-day feast where the English pilgrims and the Wampanoag, I'm so sorry guys if I mispronounced that. They were in the territory of Plymouth, And the story goes that the natives joined the struggling community of the English colonists for a meal in the autumn of 1621. And that meal was the focal point of what today's Thanksgiving is.
Mm-hmm.
However, Governor William Bradford and Governor John Winthrop actually declared the first Thanksgiving in 1637. Yeah. So, and also that meal that they had at that 3-day festival, 3-day feast, not festival, feast, the pilgrims actually were not eating. They were fasting.
So it wasn't a feast.
No. And actually the food that they ate were primarily Native American dishes. So
I thought you were about to say Native Americans. I was like, oh God, this whole shit is all a lie. What?
No, it was actually more Native American dishes. There was like a bird that was present. It wasn't a turkey. It was probably like a pheasant or something along that lines. And there was actually a lot of fish and corn dishes. There was actually
that
like
makes sense.
a corn porridge and corn, maybe bread, and that's about it. That's it. There was no pie. There was no mashed potatoes. There was no stuffing and gravy and sweet potatoes and all that bullshit that everybody makes every year that nobody eats anyways.
I eat it. What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh gosh, most people eat the sides.
Mac
They don't
and
eat
cheese.
yeah, that wasn't there either. No mac and cheese.
Oh no, you gotta have the mac and cheese.
That wasn't even invented at that time. But yeah, that if they did eat anything, it actually was that. And like I said again, the pilgrims actually were fasting.
Well, no wonder.
To show their thanks and gratitude to the Lord. So yeah, there was that. But on around June 5th, 1637, Captain Mason attacks a Pequot. Again, I apologize, guys, if I mispronounce these Native American names. They're difficult for me because I don't know the language. But the village near what is present-day Stonington, and massacres the community. And they follow it with another successful raid against the Pequot in what is now Stamford, Connecticut. And on this day, the churches announced a second day of Thanksgiving to celebrate victory.
Oof, so it is kind of a lie.
Oh, yeah. It was reported that during the feasting, they would kick the hacked off heads like soccer balls in the streets. And on July 28th, a third attack that William Bradford, the governor of Massachusetts Bay Colony, writes that from that day forward shall be a day of celebration and thanksgiving for subduing the Pequot, and, quote, for the next 100 years, every Thanksgiving day ordained by a governor was in honor of the bloody victory, thanking God that the battle had been won, end quote. And this event marks the first actual Thanksgiving. During this time of history, the Puritans and the other English colonists generally declared a day of Thanksgiving to celebrate the successful massacre of native communities and to honor victories ordained by God rather than celebrating successful harvests.
Well, I feel completely wrong now celebrating it every year.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. That's like celebrating the Holocaust and calling it Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So that was kind of like a quick gist. I'm going to talk a little bit about this Pequot tribe and really what kind of resonated into this war that actually was happening, because that's exactly what the official first day of Thanksgiving was declared for. It was not that cute little story we all were taught in school, which actually, having children, they don't come home and tell me about that story anymore. I remember learning in school.
Yeah, I do too.
Making, the cornucopias and whatnot like that, and talking about the turkeys. And,
Yep.
Yeah. I don't recall my kids ever coming home talking about it.
Huh.
Now, this all like really struck me. I always knew that there was some lies in a lot of things that kids were taught in school. And even I really have learned to bust a few of the lies that I was taught in school.
Yeah.
Because I'm a nerd and I like researching things and knowing more and more about things and all that kind of stuff. And I'll go down massive rabbit holes. So this was one of them that I did go down massive rabbit holes. And when it comes to the Native American culture, I really feel like there's a lot of unjust that still to this present day happens. And I feel like we really need to get it out there and we really need to start opening our eyes and talking about it. So that is the reason for this topic today. So the reason for this horrid battle was, of course, none other than greed. The primary cause of the war that happened was the struggle to control trade. The Dutch and the Pequot had control of the fur and wampum trade, No idea what wampum is.
It's currency in.
Okay. And the English settlers wanted it. So there was also a tension on controlling and owning of the land, of course. As the English settlers came in, moving into the land, the battle and the tension between the tribe and the settlers grew. And trader John Stone and his crew were murdered by the Pequot in the summer of 1634. And the Pequot provided several explanations for Stone's death, all explaining why it was justified. However, the English could not let the death by the hands of the natives go unpunished. And there were a few more battles where the Pequot attacked English settlers. Now, during the first 2 weeks of May of 1637 was the official declaration of the Pequot War. First, they met and negotiated with the Narragansett.
Narragansett.
That's it. Sachems.
Can't help you with that one.
And on May 23rd, now the English negotiated with them, not the Pequot. The English negotiated with them. And on May 23rd, a force of approximately 80 English, 60 Mohegan and River Indians under Uncas, and 200
Narragansett.
That's it. Marched 30 miles to what was present-day Mystic, Connecticut. But due to the heat, they were exhausted and decided to attack Mystic Fort, which was the nearest and easternmost of the two Pequot fortified villages. Now, the plan was to enter the north and south sides of the fort, and it was originally to, quote, destroy them by the sword and save the plunder, end quote. But the entry was tough, and the lanes between the rows of wigwams was so narrow after a challenging entry, and the English suffering 2 dead and 20 wounded. Within minutes, Mystic Fort was engulfed in fire, which was then fanned by a stiff northeast wind. So the English retreated, firing into the fort to prevent the Pequot from escaping. And in an hour, more than 400 Pequot men, women, and children were killed. And it was reported that only 7 were captured and 7 escaped.
Jeez.
Yes. After the battle, the English lost about 50% of their forces, and set up a temporary camp to rest and restock. Their native allies that the English had feared that low ammunition and how exhausted they were, so they actually went back to the Mystic Fort to kind of look for stuff. And when they were there, they were attacked by the Pequot, so they rushed to get aid. And while waiting back at the temporary camp, the English spotted the ship that was coming to get them. And as they headed towards the ship, they again were attacked by the Pequot. They, however, were not much successful, and the English ended up burning more wigwams and killed them. Before leaving, they ended up taking some of the Pequot's items to make stretchers for their wounded English to get them out of there. And
this was just a brutal massacre.
Yes, it's actually called the Thanksgiving Day Massacre.
Huh.
So in the following weeks, the Pequot abandoned their village in fear of more attacks. And this was an actual estimated 18 to 20 communities and 3,500 people. That's a big group of people.
Yes, it is.
Who fled. A large group of the Pequot warriors under the Sachem Mononto, I'm so sorry, guys, went north to continue the fight against the Narragansett. I probably said that wrong again. Now, bear with me on this next word, guys. But they went and joined the Wanashawatuckugs.
What the fuck?
I'm going to spell this for you.
I still won't even be able to understand it.
But it's WUNNASHOWATUCKOOGS.
Who the fuck knows?
I'm so sorry, you guys. In June, a major battle took place, and it was one of the few actually recorded native versus native battles of the Pequot War. So the Pequot and then that other tribe that I horribly probably mispronounced, they battled during this war. Late June and early July organized another campaign against the remaining Pequot. This force consisted of 100 English soldiers and an unknown number of native allies. The group proceeded to the swamp they were at and surrounded it. So the Pequot were hiding kind of in that swamp, and they just surrounded it. Following several hours of combat, the English allowed the women and children to surrender with the promise to spare their lives. However, they were unfortunately sold into slavery either in the Caribbean or New England colonies. The English forces of 100 was not sufficient in preventing the Pequot warriors from escaping, so they divided and conquered, basically. And this is what followed was a 24-hour battle that was one of the fiercest of the war, and one of the only battles where the Pequot were reported to use firearms actually against the English. Hand-to-hand fighting did take place throughout the day as well, and after the battle, it was reported 60 to 80 Pequot ended up escaping that one. Now, eventually this war did come to an end in August of 1637, burning several more wigwams, and eventually the tribe submitted. The tribe submitted. Holy crap!
It's okay, we get there.
Right? They eventually submitted to the English. A treaty was made officially ending the war, and the stipulated that the surviving Pequot were to be dispersed among the Mohegan and the one that I can't pronounce, but you can pronounce.
Narragansett.
Yep. And no longer the Pequot. So now at this point, that tribe is gone. They're not allowed to be their tribe anymore. It was also stipulated that the surviving Pequot would never be allowed to live in their former territory ever again. So the day of Thanksgiving was to celebrate the end of this horrid war and the success the English had. This, however, is not the only time that the day of Thanksgiving is used to celebrate things like this.
So we're literally celebrating genocide.
Yes. Yes. So, like I said, this is not the only time the English actually have used Thanksgiving in terms. There was a time that was reported that George Washington had a day of Thanksgiving to the Lord to celebrate the winning of the Revolutionary War. And it actually wasn't until Abraham Lincoln that the third Thursday in November, it was November 26th or something like that, that he declared an official day of Thanksgiving. And this is where it was set. And this was to give thanks to the Lord of the success in the Civil War. The Civil War wasn't over, but it was kind of getting close. It was like 18 something. I want to say 1816. They were getting close to the end.
Yeah, so this wasn't really, like, it wasn't a holiday. It was an event.
Yes. So the day of Thanksgiving was used to celebrate thanks to the Lord. It was a religious thing that they were doing for successes. Now, unfortunately, a lot of the times the day of Thanksgiving that was being used was to thanking the Lord that they won a battle. There was stories that I did find of the situation where there was some peace that was being used in Thanksgiving. But again, it was a religious thing. It wasn't really popularized until actually very recently. The modern celebration that we have for this holiday was formally made in 1963 by JFK.
I did not know that.
And it's presentedly celebrated by the gathering of family and friends with a large meal and American football games. And this Native American and Pilgrim story is only the backdrop of this day, ignoring the historical events and the truth that really created a day of Thanksgiving.
I mean, I see what he's trying to do with it, but,
There are a lot of tribes still to this day that actually use that day of mourning, and they don't celebrate it.
I can see why.
Some do celebrate it, but they celebrate it to celebrate their heritage, their culture. It was this story of Thanksgiving, like I said, it was very difficult to find a lot of things factual versus not factual.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, looking up Native American history is very difficult. There was really not much of a way for them to log it. A lot of the time, it was always stories that were passed down from person to person throughout generations. So for them to finally get to a point where they were able to document their own history was much, much later. There are a lot of historians that were able to get their stories out from these native tribes. And a lot of these I did get off of those websites. I cannot pronounce the names of them right now. But there was a lot of really great information about it. So definitely think twice when you guys are making your turkeys and things like that. The part that I thought very ironic, though, is the official first Thanksgiving was based off of greed. What happens the day after Thanksgiving?
What do you mean?
Black Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. The greediest day of the damn year. So everybody's at home. Friends and family.
I think Christmas is more greedy.
All talking about how thankful they are for what they have in life and what they want in life and all that things. All to go out and shop and punch each other for a Furby.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
The story, the war.
Bunch of fucking spoiled brats.
The war was based off of greed. It was greed.
Yeah.
And a total of 700 Pequots were killed in this process of this war, which is terrifying and horrible. And those now people lost their land forever.
Yeah.
They were dispersed amongst other tribes. So who knows what could have happened to them once they were given to other tribes. And they were told they could never have their land again.
I mean, I'm all for getting together with your family, having a big meal.
You can do that anytime.
Exactly. You can do it at any time. You should be thankful every day, not just one day of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And not just because our government recognizes it and tells you to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes a tradition. But like you said, the next time you turn around, people are being greedy, and it doesn't mean anything anymore. There is no meaning behind Thanksgiving.
No, there really isn't. I mean, up until the pandemic, I mean, stores were open the night of Thanksgiving, having their doorbuster sales going on. That, I think, is actually one of the greatest things that happened with this pandemic, is the fact that that doesn't happen anymore. Stores are actually having Black Friday deals all throughout the month of November. I love that they're doing that. It's now not this as big of a deal on Fridays as it used to be. And I'm okay with getting rid of that day. And honestly, Thanksgiving was a religious holiday. It was a religious thing to do. That religious aspect is gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
Not one person is thanking the Lord for the wonderful things they have in their life, or thanking whoever it is they worship. I don't know, to each his own, man, for what they have that day. They just are like, sweet, I'm out of work that day. That's it. Some people get off today because today's Friday. Some people don't. Unfortunately, retail is definitely not getting that day off.
Yeah. Just like growing up, like even on Sundays, more places were closed too.
Mm-hmm. Well, now they get shit if they're closed on Sundays.
Yeah.
Especially if they're told it's for a religious reason. Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Chicano Boys, that one place that I really like that I took you to.
Oh, the taco place?
They're closed on Sundays.
We gotta go.
They're closed on Sundays.
That's fine. We won't go on a Sunday.
No. Unfortunately, that's when I want it the most. That's
of course.
That's the only downer about being closed on a Sunday. That's when I want it the most. But how many people are, like, some stores have shortened hours for Sunday. Some stores are just open normal hours on Sundays. I don't care whichever one you want to do. My thing is stop with the damn greed, people.
They won't, because there's still, you know, not saying you and I, but there is you and I that go to those stores and we support them.
We go to that stores. Why? Because we have to work.
Yeah.
Ourselves. And when do we get off?
Exactly.
Probably a Sunday. And that's the one day that we can go out and do all the things we need to get done.
I'm not saying just like you and I.
Oh, I know.
I'm using you and I as a grouping, as an example. Like, fuck it. I'm going to name drop, like, Burlington. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you're literally keeping your doors open till midnight?
Are you serious?
Yeah, and that's not even for a holiday.
That's just because.
Yeah. Like, how fucking greedy do you have to be?
Who the fuck is shopping till midnight?
Ross. Another one. They do it too.
Who the fuck is shopping till midnight, those places?
I don't know. Like, there's no reason for it. There is absolutely no reason for it.
Well, I mean, starting now, Target's going to be open till midnight.
There's no reason for it.
And Walmart.
It's just getting worse and worse. I was happy Walmart cut back.
Oh, yeah. I was so happy when I heard, even before the pandemic, some of the stores that were like, yeah, we're not going to be open Thanksgiving Day anymore. Use that day to be with your fucking family and actually be with your family.
Yeah.
How many of you are actually with your family and not on your damn phone?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a very good question.
Mm-hmm. Because some people can't even do regular dinner every night and not be on their damn phone. Try being with your family on a Tuesday. How many people can do that? Without using the excuse of work, I will give a pass for that. But when you are actually with your family and friends, how truly present are we?
But just to say that, like, all of that just still goes back to greed.
Exactly.
We can't accomplish anything. We can't have our free time with our loved ones. We can't do anything that we should be doing because it all comes back to greed.
Mm-hmm. And that is what the Thanksgiving Day Massacre was about. Greed. This land was built on greed, let's be honest.
Well, that's 100% true. Yeah.
It originally was people fleeing to go have a place that they could be free to do their religion the way they wanted, talk the way they wanted, be the way they wanted without somebody above their head telling them what to do. But all they did was bring it here.
Yeah, and even then, we've moved very far away from even that. Mm-hmm. From what we built this country on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because everybody's told whatever religion you follow, it's wrong anyways. And everybody's told that if you are religious, you're wrong. Or if you're not religious, you're wrong.
Or just the simple fact that everybody's in fucking each other's business.
Oh, yeah, back the fuck up, man.
Like, it's not your life. Are they harming you or somebody else? No, they're not. So shut the fuck up, sit down, and mind your business.
Right.
Like, it's not that hard.
Apparently it very much is. You want to know why that is also very hard? Social media.
Yeah.
It's at our fingertips every damn day. I mean, we're at fault for that one as well, because to let you guys all know about what we're doing, we're on there to tell you.
Yep.
If we're gonna have an episode or not, it's on our social media.
It's very, very crooked and very disappointing where we're at.
Well, we take good things and we make it bad, because social media could have been great. It could have been something very useful.
Spread awareness, spread love, but no. Instead, it was used as a platform to bully each other.
It's a platform to bully. It's a platform to extort people. Mm-hmm. It's a platform that's getting used against people and not for people. We're not for the people much anymore. However, I am starting to see a little bit of that, and I hope I see that grow.
Yeah, because we need it now more than ever.
I had a little bit of an epiphany the other day as to why certain things don't happen.
Please share.
Total off topic, but also not at the same time. So I personally, out in the world with my everyday interaction with people, I don't come across people that are truly as mean as I see on the internet. A lot of people are keyboard warriors. Not saying that they don't exist. I just don't come across that many people who are truly that. That's because of your work. Anyways. And I've seen these two memes, ironically enough, like I said, talk about social media, where one says that I wish love was as contagious as hate. Mm-hmm. And then the other one is, once the power of love exceeds the love of power, things will be better. Mm-hmm. And I was like, there are so many people who want to spread love and spread kindness and stuff like that. We need to step up. We need to do more. And you want to know why they aren't? Because they're lovers. They're not fighters. Those people are not going to fight for something because we want to share love and kindness, and we can't fight if we're being loving.
Well, there's still a lot of people that say that they want to do that, but then that's not what they do.
No, yeah, I know.
That's not how they live their life. They say one thing to fit in with
whatever crowd they're running with at the moment. Mm-hmm.
And it's just, oh God, the bullshit is just, it's enough to make you want to run away.
Sometimes, but I won't.
Nobody smiles anymore.
I know.
None.
Smile, guys.
You're lucky if you get greeted when you go into a store, nonetheless with a smile.
Yeah. Everybody's just trying to get people in and out as quickly as possible. So, guys, start now. First off, be grateful every day. Be thankful every day. There's a lot of shit out there that we don't have to deal with.
We choose to deal with it.
We do choose to deal with it, because all you got to do is pick up the phone and look at your social media and you'll see it. And I'm not saying ignore it and be ignorant to what's going on. That's by all means not what I'm saying. Be aware, but don't get involved in things you don't know. If you want to be involved in it, educate yourself before you get involved. Second, be kind. Be nice. It's going to get you so much further in life. So much further. It may not in the beginning. It may seem really hard because people are going to look at you like you're fucking psychotic. Because they probably have either never been nice themselves or never had anybody be nice to them. And you can be surprised in how quickly somebody's mindset can change from one kind act. I know it sounds fucking cliche, but it's so real.
It is. It is.
So real.
Just like the whole like pay it forward movement that happened a few years back. You saw a little bit different. You saw like actually a community evolving, which is unheard of nowadays. There's no such thing as a fucking community anymore unless it's like sick and twisted.
Yeah, I don't want any of that.
But it became a trend, and then didn't have any meaning behind it anymore.
Well, if you haven't already listened to some of the other episodes that we've had so far, guys, about communities and them being sick and twisted, they never work out.
No.
It never works. So try a different approach. Try kindness. And don't do it for the shares. Don't do it for the likes. Do it because it needs to be done. Try to do it without a camera in front of your face.
Do it because you have some fucking integrity. If you don't, I'm sorry to say this, but do you really need to be around then? If you can't have any fucking integrity, if you can't do what's right, if you're just going to push buttons and make the situation worse,
sit in your house and reflect.
Go get some help.
Yeah, go get some help, man. There's nothing wrong with getting help. But yeah, that is really Thanksgiving. So think of that whenever you're eating your gizzards.
I don't eat fucking gizzards.
I know.
I said mac and cheese. God damn it, mac and cheese and stuffing.
So I actually don't celebrate Thanksgiving with that traditional dinner anymore. I actually decided to use that day to pay tribute from my family who took the travel to America to bring our family here and make something of themselves a little bit better than where they had it before. So I cook a big old German dinner because I am very much fucking German. German, Norwegian, French, and Irish, and Yugoslavian.
Well, we don't have to wait for Thanksgiving to do that. We can do it as much as we want.
Oh, absolutely.
We can set a day aside for our own Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. That's why people started the Friendsgiving. I like that. Just a bunch of friends who pick a random day around Thanksgiving time. But I also just hated making the turkey and the ham and all that. Nobody ate it. Everybody ate the sides, the potatoes, the stuffings. I can make that year round too. FYI, guys, you can make Thanksgiving dinner year round.
It's a lot cheaper when you do it like in June than it is now.
Nobody eats the turkey.
I beg to differ. In my house, they eat the turkey.
Good for you guys. Nobody ever eats it. I ended up having to like throw away because it just sits in molds in my fridge. The stuffing gets eaten, the mashed potatoes get eaten, the corn gets eaten, the green bean casserole gets eaten, the mac and cheese gets eaten, everything else gets eaten. But the ham is really good though. We make that for Christmas now. We make the ham for Christmas. And that's when I do my Norwegian dinner for Christmas. Super stoked about that one. But yeah, there you go.
Well, the more you know.
The more you know. Like I said, it was so hard to find a lot of facts. I had to do so much cross-checking. So if anybody is listening and they found something I did say incorrectly, please, for the love of everything, correct me. If you have any more information on that you want to share, let us know. Follow us on our social medias, or
that we just bashed.
That we did just bash. You know what I would really love though is if social media went back to not being on our phones and we had to actually go to a computer to log in, because that's when people weren't.
Oh fuck yeah!
That's when people weren't on it that much.
No, we weren't,
because it took time to get on. Now I just click an icon and boom, I'm there. And it's so easy.
I know we both had MySpace in high school.
I did it.
Yes, you did.
Oh, I did for a
you
very
a fucking liar.
I had a brief. I
you
didn't
were
have
my top 10 or whatever it was.
Top 8.
Whatever.
That's right. I did. Senior year, I had a MySpace, and that's also when Facebook just finally became available to everybody outside of college too, because that's how old we are. Because Zuckerberg was like just finally getting out of college while we were seniors in high school. And I remember that was the big thing is like, oh, you should be on Facebook. Why? What's Facebook? It's like MySpace, but better. It used to only be for college kids, but now like everybody gets to use it.
Yeah, like it was the more mature platform. Now it's just a bunch of fucking bullshit.
Well, apparently it is the more mature platform, because if you ask anybody, old people only go on that one.
That's because it's the only one we know how to fucking work.
I don't know how to work any of the others.
The other ones are fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, they're way too many buttons. But it was so much harder to get on these platforms because you had to actually go to your computer, if you had one in your home, and log in.
But I'm saying, even like when we had MySpace, we weren't really on it.
No.
Not like we are now.
No. Again, because
we didn't really care.
You had to, no, only anybody cared is that they'd check to see who's on your top 8.
Or to
what song you were
update
playing.
your page. Yeah, and your song. That was about it.
Yeah.
I think we just liked customizing everything. Like, that was about it.
That was when everybody knew how to code. Now nobody knows what coding means.
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to do all that. You could go on...
You literally just copy and paste that shit.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Oh, Lord. To be young again.
Oh, gosh, I know.
I want to go back.
But like I said, please email us. Reach out to us. Let us know what you guys thought about that. And like I said, those of you who are more educated in that situation, by all means, educate me if I was wrong on it, or share more information on that situation or other situations like that. I would love to hear it. I think that Native American history is something that is very under-taught and needs to be taught more. There's a lot that is one thing nobody wants to talk about, and it's been one that's been on my mind a lot that bothers me.
Nobody ever wants to talk about the Native Americans, though.
I know, and
we never want to admit fault what we did.
I know, and it bothers me. We focus on so many other situations, but that one gets brushed under the rug time and time again. And there are too many women going missing in that community that it bothers me a lot.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to talk about that one neither, but we won't go down that rabbit hole
Yeah,
today.
no, we're going to stop right there because this could get really nasty really quick.
It really can. However, make sure you guys reach out to us in any way you want. Facebook, Instagram, because that's the only 2 social medias we know how to work. Oh, wait, and the TikTok. We know how to work that one, sort of.
Yeah, every now and then I'm like, what the fuck?
Definitely can get us by email, toastedshenaniganspodcast@gmail.com. That one we all check pretty regularly. All we get is notifications of other things. Nothing important gets emailed to us. But make sure...
Hey, every now and then we get a toasty reaching out.
We do.
They're important.
They are important, but they usually reach out through like TikTok or...
Yeah, they usually through some kind of social media platform.
That gets emailed to us that we have a notification on TikTok about them reaching out. But we do have one that does email us, and we love you. I love getting that email from them because they did just email us some...
Yeah, we got to look into that one.
That they want to hear. And don't you guys worry. Again, like I said, those who've given us some story ideas, we definitely are going to get back on your guys' listener tales that you were requesting because it helps us out.
Yeah. We don't have to think as hard.
But I really had to get this out there because Thanksgiving was just yesterday. And now by the time you guys are listening to this, it's Sunday. But until next time, guys, as we continue this ramble, have a good night. Bye.